welcome to another episode of Franklin and Douglas, where we talk about current events and give you bad advice. I'm Franklin, and with me, as always, is my buddy Douglas. Double D, how's it going?
It's going great. How are you been?
Um, I am excellent. Thank you very much. It's been a very productive week.
Oh,
No issues, which is always good.
okay.
Before we jumped on, I finished up my last episode of The Penguin, and
Ooh.
yeah. Have you started watching that? Because I know you have the network now, so
You should already know the answer to that. No, I have not.
I
But I
I
want
just
to.
You need to. It is such a good show. It's really, really good. Um, Colin Farrell plays the Penguin, and a bunch of other random people I don't know, but they're
Which you
all
wouldn't even know was
amazing.
him looking at the picture of the
Ex-
penguin. They did really good makeup on him.
exactly. The makeup alone is amazing. I love the show, and yeah, it's like I said, I it comes on every Sunday, so there's a new episode tomorrow.
Mm,
No, today is Friday, right?
right.
This Sunday. I know my days are all run together, but it's a new episode this Sunday, so I needed to catch up. But yeah, it's a really really good show, and just like another couple of shows I've asked you to watch, I need you to get caught up. So.
I will add it to the list.
Good, thank you. So, how are you? How you been feeling? I know you weren't feeling too well last week.
Oh,
How's this week going?
this week feeling much better. Back to the land of the living. Thank you for asking.
Good.
I mean, my personal life was kind of boring this week, but since our what was it, like 2 episodes ago, I have been kind of keeping up in the whole Menendez brothers thing going on. And so
Yes.
as of us recording this, yesterday was Thursday the 24th. The Los Angeles DA announced that he's going to be recommending to the judge for resentencing of the brothers, to change the conviction to murder. Today is when he's supposed to go to the judge. So as of us recording this, there's no update.
I'm
But
sorry. Weren't they already charged with murder?
Um, I forget what the actual charge
Or
was back
was it
then.
premeditated murder?
Is maybe, yeah.
Okay.
So back then, the laws were a little different back then as well. So if he can get the judge to do a resentencing, I believe they said about like another 30 to 45 days is when they would like to push the case up to
Hmm.
see if they can get a new verdict. And they're inviting other people from this DA's office with opposing views. So this may not even go through. There's going to be kind of an argument process
Gotcha.
go up to the judge. But if they can get this resentencing done and they get charged with murder instead, because they were under the age of 25, 26 at the time, in California law now, which is what they'd be considering, they would, so the murder charge would be 25 years to life per victim. So both brothers would be charged with 50 years to life. But because they were under the age of 26, they'd be eligible for parole. So they're hoping that if they can get this change, the verdict change, that they're going to go right into like a parole hearing and the brothers may be able to get
Wow.
out. I mean, under parole conditions, but
That, you know, no murder is ever good,
right.
you know. And obviously being their parents and things like that, but all the new evidence that came out and everything. And where were these people 35 years ago? But, you know,
Right.
everything that's come out and whatnot, you know, yeah, I'm happy for them that they may get out, may not, you know.
And then the
Meanwhile,
DA made the same comment. He's like,
right.
what they did was still heinous. He's like, that
Yes.
doesn't change anything, but because of the
The
new,
circumstances and the
right.
things that happen. Yeah, yeah. Meanwhile, Scott Peterson is sitting in jail like, seriously?
Well, they're
Oh
also
man.
saying that the reason why this is kind of like happening now is, of course, because the Netflix documentary, you've got
Mhm.
celebrities like weighing in on as well. But I guess this DA is up for re-election in 12 days.
Oh.
So they're kind of like, oh, this is kind of, you know, trying to boost himself up as well. Like, hey, I'm going to do something that's popular right now. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. It'll be interesting for
It
sure.
will be. It will be interesting. That's it's pretty exciting. Some good things coming along, hopefully for them. Good luck to them.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're afforded the same leniency if we go out and murder people.
I mean, hey, just don't go out spending $500,000 the next day.
What was he saying to his brother? Like, look at those pants on him. You're getting one in every color. That's gonna be me to you.
Okay, exactly. Oh my God. That's
Well,
good.
so what do you have for us this week?
For today's episode, I thought that I would talk about the growing exodus of Americans leaving the United States.
Oh.
I as the 2024 election is rapidly approaching, I think 11 days now.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I've often seen and heard of Americans saying that they would move out of the country if Donald Trump were elected president again, and vice versa if Kamala Harris were elected president.
Right.
Some people are like, I don't want a woman president, or and things like that. And you and I have always joked about packing up and
Yes.
leaving, but obviously it takes money and means to just up and leave. And there's a lot of planning that needs to go into moving to another country. You just don't decide to get up and leave unless it's a vacation. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're planning to on moving, it's probably a 6 month to a year planning to figure out what country you want to move to. You're looking at the environment and the different things that are going on, and you want to make it right for you and your family if that's what you're planning on doing.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a lot of other reasons why Americans are leaving the United States, and it's not just because of their political views, although that is one of the reasons that a lot of people are. But it's the cost of living. Some say that the cost of living in the United States is too high, even for low cost areas.
Right.
And, safety concerns, uh, you know, especially gun violence, you know, people are fearful of their safety, quality of life. Some want to live in a country with better social programs like universal health care.
Mm-hmm.
And, healthcare is expensive. Growing old is expensive in America. And I found that Brazil is the only country that offers free healthcare to everyone, including their citizens, visitors, refugees, immigrants, everyone. Brazil. So I'm like,
Okay.
okay, put Brazil on the top of my list.
Right.
Okay. Cultural experiences, people, want a different culture
Right.
to have. Debt. Some people are struggling with a lot of medical, student loans, credit card debt.
Right.
Although I if you plan on moving, I don't believe that your debt just goes away. So make sure you
It
take care
kind
of
of
your
just
debt,
stays back in the US.
right? It's like we'll leave you here. But other reasons that people are leaving for other countries is if religious and humanitarian purposes
Sure.
to marry a foreigner. They may end up moving back to their partner's country and then finally retiring. As we know, getting older, both of us, we you have to sit down and look at your monthly budget
Mm-hmm.
and what it's going to take for you to live comfortably each and every month until you know you die, and it's expensive.
Right.
You have to work two jobs to make ends meet and to be comfortable, but then you're dead tired and you can't really enjoy life the way you want to.
Mm-hmm.
uh you know you try to set your life up for your people that are having to take care of you, or after you are past, all the things that have to be paid off, and taking care of your family that is still left over. But you think about it, it's very expensive. You work all these years and do all these things, and then you retire for what, 5 6 years, and then you're dead. you know
And they want to keep
Honestly,
pushing that retirement age up too.
exactly. We're gonna be working until we're 90, you
Right.
know?
If I make it that long.
Exactly, right? Just, it's it's scary, it's funny, and it's scary at the same time
Mhm.
because, yeah, you are going to be having to work, eh, for a long time to be, comfortable. And then after you do retire and you have that benefit, yeah, you can't really move afterwards. Um, Honestly, I've often thought about, what it would be like, to move to another country.
Mhm.
And for me, it's just for the cultural experience, even though I don't like people, but I
Right.
would love to, experience something new.
Mhm.
And it's always been something in the back of my mind, but, obviously, again, it takes money and means to do it. But, what do you think about the possibility of ever leaving the United States?
Well, I mean, I agree with you on the whole cultural standpoint. I was very lucky enough to be able to spend about 3 weeks and just go around Europe when I was younger. And I would recommend it to anybody because it's very eye opening to see the differences between other countries and the US, and just the way people handle themselves differently. And it was great. And I would definitely want to go see more countries, but I would recommend it to anybody to get out of the US and just to see how the rest of the world works and acts and how they live compared to us in the US. Because before then, it was all I knew was how we do things in the US.
Right.
Um,
And that's yeah, same thing for me. I'm like, my passport's only been stamped once. So so I would definitely love to see different areas and everything and just to see the experience.
mhm,
But like I say, I love California. I love the United States, and I think though people always often say when they go to different countries, that it is so eye-opening and
mhm,
so revealing of how we live here. I just want to experience that and different things, and I would love to go to Japan to see all the new technology that they have. I mean, there's some things that I've seen, and I'm like, my God, what year are they living in? You know?
right.
So, but yeah, I think that it's something to always to keep in the back of your mind if you're able to. Uh, I would.
Mhm.
I think that a lot of people do it for retirement, like again, and to change their
So,
life
why do you think that is, though? Retirees wanting to go to
because
other
their
countries
money.
outside the US?
Yeah, because it's expensive. Like I said, getting old in America is expensive, and where when you move to another country, I believe I read where a couple retired to Thailand
Mhm,
and they didn't buy property, they rented, when they got out there, and basically they got, like, I think it was like a three-bedroom, home for what would go here in California for, like, $5,000 a month or something. They got it for,
mhm,
like, 500, you know, American dollars is 500, and their quality of life is a lot different, their money is lasting longer.
mhm,
He was a retired police officer,
mm.
and,
He had probably
you
had a
know
pension and all that he was able to take with him too.
exactly, exactly,
Yeah.
and, he had the means to make sure that he was double checking, safety and checking, the area and making sure if it was right for him and his wife,
Mhm,
and they say they love it, and, I often look on, some social media where people have moved to, Europe or they've moved to, different areas of the world and how they say they love it and it's just different. It's not as stressful as it is here in America,
mhm.
with everything that goes on a regular basis, with you know what racism, equality for women and the things that we have to fight for on a regular basis. So
And that
yeah,
probably depends on what country they're going to too,
that's
though.
true. That's exactly true
Because
because
some of
that's
that
my
still
my
is very
first
much
question.
out there, but
Right, right. I ask you all the time, "Do they like black people there?"
right. Do they like the
You know?
gays?
Exactly. I'm like, "'Cause I'm not going."
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, I have thankfully never experienced that in my life,
Hmm.
and nor do I want to, but I see it and, from others and hear about it, and, obviously it's very frustrating and sad to know that that's the country that and life that we live. But again, it's everywhere. It's just a matter of what corner you decide to live on,
Hmm.
and where you decide to go. But you just have to be very mindful and in your surroundings and make sure you're doing what you need to do. Um, but yeah, it's definitely eye opening. But I think that I would definitely love to explore more as I'm getting older.
Hmm.
But I think I'm still very proud and happy to be an American and live in the United States. But
Should I
it's
cue
always
that
very
"Proud to Be an American" song now?
proud to be an
America.
American. Exactly. But, but yeah, it's interesting, to get other points of view and people on why they're leaving.
Mhm.
It's not just political reasons, it's a lot of other reasons, and I think that people need to make sure that they understand that. It's not just because of, who's in office. And for me, again, whoever is in office, it really does it really has it ever affected you, their policies and things that they're doing? I mean, I think the more wealthy and the businesses and things like that are affected. Um, I was lucky enough to have worked through the entire pandemic and didn't get laid off, and didn't lose my job and things like that. And so I I guess I'm kind of like, how does it affect us?
Well, you gotta
I
look at
that
the whole
doesn't sound
social
ignorant.
aspect. Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
look at the social aspect because I mean, look at the Supreme Court. They struck down Roe versus Wade. So now
Mhm.
you have women in medical emergencies because they left it to the states, and now they're in states where doctors can get sued if they do something, medically appropriate for the woman who may be having like an at-risk pregnancy. So
Mhm.
I do think, from those kind of standpoints, it does affect. And you look at this, whether whoever you believe that it's not real or, it's not going to be part of the future or it is, but that whole Project 2025, like that makes me nervous if that is something that's actually implemented. So I think, yeah, I think it doesn't affect the upper 1% because they can get whatever they want. They need an abortion, they can fly out where they want and get it done for themselves. But I think for us that aren't the 1%, like some of this stuff does affect us.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, that's, like I said, it's interesting. I mean, I'm not where I'm going to be having any children, but I
You got to think
definitely
of you got to think of
I am
everyone.
thinking of others. I'm just saying, I am thinking of others. Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
true.
getting
No, it
pregnant
is.
either.
Yeah, so, but no, it's very scary, for the, young people that are coming up and the things that are happening that will affect them,
Hmm.
um, coming up. So yeah, it's interesting.
I
But,
did. I did find when I was looking at because like we were taught, like you said, we would joke around and say, "Oh well, if this person gets elected, we're leaving," what have you. I was kind of looking at to see what the other side kind of does. The people that are pro right wing, and there's
mhm.
actually people that have fled the U.S. because they don't feel that the U.S. is moral anymore and it doesn't hold Christian values. So you have people going to Russia now, which to me is
Oh,
kind of scary because
Vladimir Putin.
right, because Russia's known to like hold like Americans as bargaining chips, what have you, and some of these other
Mhm.
countries. So I know that there
Yeah,
was a family
that's
that
the yeah, I was gonna say, is like, that's what I'd be scared of, is,
right,
like, go to another country and then I get kidnapped and
right.
I'm holding up the ransom note like proof of life,
1 minute
you
Vlad
know?
is welcoming you in, the next minute you're in a video room.
Exactly, with a newspaper talking about friends, family. And you're like, "And what has she gotten herself into?"
Right. And I had also found another data point too. There is this group called the Citizen Consultancy Henley and Partners Group. So they kind of
Sounds like
do
a law
research
office.
on residents. Yeah. And so they said in the past 4 years that inquiries from Americans seeking second passports or alternative residences have skyrocketed 504%. So it's kind of interesting too that it's been kind of recent that everyone's just like, oh, I'm going to leave the US now, as kind of like their response. So I thought that was pretty interesting as well.
And then you have to, again, you have to plan, and because you just can't go to another
No.
country and go, hey, I want to live here.
Right.
You have to like get a visa. You gotta, you know, and I think you have to actually like, they have to see if you are qualified to even live there, kind of thing. Like, what can you bring to our country?
Yes. Some countries do have those stipulations. Absolutely.
Yeah, and what benefit is it going to be? And so, you have to think about that. You might get turned away, but they are like, yeah, no, you're not going to work.
Well, in some countries, like people thinking that they're going to have dual citizenship, some countries require you to denounce your American citizenship, so you're only a citizen of their country,
Right,
which I
right.
thought was kind of interesting too. Like I don't think people realize that. And I have seen some TikTokers too who are like, "Oh, I'm moving to this country, so and so," and then you go like you scroll through their page, and it's like 6 months later, and they still haven't moved yet. And they're like,
Huh.
"Oh, well, I'm having a hard time finding housing because there's a housing crisis." So some things still are the same across from the US to other countries, inflation, housing.
Right.
So it's interesting to see people kind of like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. And then you find them later like, oh, this is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be.
See, just go ahead and stay in your $5,000 a month apartment,
Right.
your your one bedroom shack, and be happy.
Right.
Exactly. So, but
America.
no, I just exactly. I thought it was just very interesting, and what people were leaving for,
Yeah.
and but I think as far as travel is concerned, I definitely want to travel more,
Yeah.
but um,
Let's do it.
yeah, sure,
Let's take the show on the
not
road.
where are we, right to Vegas again,
Right.
because that's all we were going. So. Yeah, that's great. But no, I just thought that would be an interesting topic to discuss and to see other people's point of view. And it's great because, like I say, a lot of people think it's just because of a political reason, and it's not. It's a lot of
No.
other things. And so,
Right.
regardless of who is going to be president, and remember, go and vote. And that's one thing that another topic that I think we should discuss is the electoral votes and the popular vote, because I'm still like, you could win the popular vote, but not win the election.
That's a whole nother episode.
Okay, I just want to, yeah, because I was kept looking at that. I'm like,
I've never won the popular vote, so I wouldn't know.
mm, sorry about that.
Mm.
But yeah. So, do you have any advice questions for us today?
Absolutely. So, as always, we want to remind our audience that we are not trained professionals and our advice should not be taken seriously. But what qualifications do we have, Franklin?
Well, we survived the Castros too for one night.
Mhm.
We didn't get kidnapped by that man in a van,
No,
and so we're qualified to guide you through life's challenges.
right. If that's all it takes, great.
That's all it takes to survive the white van.
Right. So,
People think we're
today,
joking. We
oh, yeah.
we
No,
it's the truth. It's the truth.
yeah.
And we had one friend who didn't, who was like, I think they got kidnapped. And
Great
we reached
friends.
out. Great friends we have.
All
All
right.
right.
Well,
What
today
you
we're going
got?
to be pulling our questions from Reddit's advice category. If you'd like for us to answer your request for advice, please DM us on our socials or comment. Maybe your question will appear on our next episode.
Yeah, slide into that DM.
All right. So, our first question is coming from Nah Today Son. And
That's
I love it. So, they start off their question with Annoying Neighbors, the title. They go on to say, "Hello all. So I'm looking for advice on how to not to be rude to an annoying neighbor who just won't leave us alone. To the point we don't want to go to the neighborhood pool or go for a walk out of fear of running into her and being trapped forever. She messages constantly, and I'm fairly certain she's on something. She means well and is a sweet person. She's just a lot and needy. I don't want to hurt her
Oh,
feelings at all, but I don't know how to tell her to back off politely. We've tried the ignoring and polite nods, smile, and walking away, but how can we kindly give her the hint to leave us alone?
well, I've been in this boat before.
Have you?
And one, I peer out my window to make sure the neighbors are not around
Mm-hmm.
before I leave and walk very quickly. I also make sure I'm pretending to be on the phone talking
Mm.
when I'm walking by somebody and just kind of quickly wave off and jump into the car. Or I got a whole bunch of bags in my hand, you know. Um, that is it's just like the only kind of way you can do it without being rude, especially since you guys live in the same neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, but for me, I don't like talking to people, and I look out I look out the window over the balcony. I'm like, is anybody out there? Okay, I can go. And when I do see people, I keep my head down, I walk fast. And if they are approaching, I pretend I seriously, I'll have my phone out and go. And they're like, "Oh, I'll talk to you later." "Yeah, no, you won't."
Yeah, sure, sure.
"Sure, sure, sure." Now, if they have a dog, I usually stop, so
Of
that's
course.
about it. So there's 2 neighbors that I do stop for. It's a little lady, and I don't even know her name. I know her dog's name. Her dog's name is Trixie. Okay? And then I have another neighbor, don't know their name, but their black golden retriever's name is Gus. And Gus is amazing, he loves me.
Are they trying to talk to you and you're petting the dog and you just go shh shh shh
Uh,
up there?
exactly, I'm like, "Don't talk."
I'm talking to
Like,
Gus right now.
I'm talking to Gus. But yeah, no, those are probably only 2 people, and then I just recently saw a lady, and she had a bulldog, and so, I'm thinking about getting a bulldog, and so,
Mhm.
and the bulldog started running up to me, and I'm like, "The dog whisperer." But, yeah, I mean, for them, I think that, especially if the person is on something, you just wanna be very careful. But start changing your walk route. Start, changing your times that you go out and do different things that you know that she's gonna be around. And again, walk fast. Walk fast and carry your phone. That's all I have to say.
Well, as someone who has held myself hostage just to not see neighbors, if they're out doing the yard work, I'm like, I cannot leave. Or if I hear them walking in the hallway, I'm like, I'm just going to sit here. I might be late to wherever I'm going. But my other thought was like maybe fake that you are like that you're alert or you're contagious, like you're the carrier monkey. So put up some like biohazard signs on your windows and doors. And then
Or
if you
just
go
put
out
a
for
face mask on.
yeah, or if you go out for a walk, get like one like those like in ET, like those bodysuit things, and go out for a walk in that. And be like, oh,
And be like,
sorry, contagious. You don't want this.
"Okay,
Don't want
you don't
this.
want this."
And if they're like, but I saw you in the pool yesterday, that's where I got it. I got it from the
That's
pool.
I got it from the pool.
Mm-hmm.
I
Swimming
drank a little of that
ringworm.
pool water.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah, HOA doesn't seem to think it's a problem, but just so you know,
okay.
this could be you.
Good. Just could be you. That's great. Well, good luck to them. Hopefully, like I say, just, walk fast, change your routine a little bit, and if all else
Change up your
fails, just tell her,
routine.
Back off. I'm not interested."
Right? Just be direct. Like not today, Janet. Not today.
Yeah, not today.
I'm not having it today. It's not a talkative day, Janet. All
Poor thing.
right. So moving on, next question. And I thought I'd do like a Halloween one since
Okay.
this episode will be coming out right before Halloween. Um, the title of this one is Halloween as an Adult, and it was
Mm.
written by Tortellini Mafia. I don't love that. And so they go on to say, wondering what other people do for Halloween now that they've grown up. I'm 20 now, which is that grown up really? I'm
No,
20
no,
now and never really got to celebrate Halloween much as a kid, but I'm
no,
living in
poor
the
thing.
city with my boyfriend right now, and there's got to be something fun to do. What
That
advice
was
do
the
you have for these
question?
young 20-year-olds to do for Halloween?
Oh my god. When we were 20, we was
Yeah.
again, almost getting kidnapped. But,
Mm-hmm.
when we were 20, the Halloween, was the pink party in San Francisco, right? In the Castro?
Maybe, yeah. Oh, that was so long
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah, that's what I say. We did all of that stuff.
Yeah.
There's so many great things to do, when you're a young adult and parties and things. It's just again where you are. Start looking on social media for the parties that are going on. Costume parties.
Mm,
I was never a big person that would dress up. You guys always did all the dress ups. We have a great
yep.
friend who always does some really great makeup and dressing up and everything. But
Decks her house out like crazy. But yeah.
exactly, yeah. She called me last year to help her lift that 50-ton Jack the Pumpkin King over her house, you know. But but yeah, I mean, there's so many great fun things to do. Bar hopping, they have Halloween bar hops, and things like that. So it just depends on where where you live in the area, but there's definitely a lot more fun things to do. And they do have trick or treating for adults, which is shots of 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 cocktail shots and different things like that, tequila shots. So it's just a matter of where you are, and you have to go out and look and see. But wow, to be young again, whew,
Right.
I just turned my porch light off, and I'm like, I'm hoping nobody comes to this door.
I'm going back to that last question. I am hiding like I don't live.
I don't live here,
I don't want those kids to be able
right?
to peek in the window and see if someone is there that might be handing out candy. Like, I'm good.
He's there, mom. He's there.
I see him. The porch light's
Right.
not on. Leave me alone.
Right. Yeah, no. Oh man, that's fun. I remember trick or treating as a kid. It was great. It was so much fun.
Well,
But
I was
yeah,
thinking of something they could do that maybe is not alcohol related. And in the Halloween tradition, maybe do some like demon conjuring. Like get like a couple of your good friends together, get a big pentagram on the ground, and just see who you can dig up.
no.
Beelzebub, somebody.
No, we're not
Cthulhu,
digging up anybody. Although I would want to bring Prince back, so yeah.
Zombie Prince.
Yes. Oh. Man, that's
But
great.
yeah, I don't know. And like again, if you don't drink, you can watch a good horror movie. Like I don't know, being an
Yeah.
adult's boring. Do the fun young people stuff.
Exactly, exactly. That's good stuff. Yeah, and speaking of drinking, what are you drinking today?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if you notice, I am drinking since it's October. I'm drinking a spiked pumpkin spice latte or spiked pumpkin spice latte.
All I heard was ice spice.
Yeah, it's alcoholic spice pumpkin latte. I don't know. It's a
Oh,
tongue
okay.
twister. Bad
It's a something
marketing.
twister.
Right.
It's a something twister. Well, I thought that we would kind of incorporate drinking what we are
Oh,
drinking.
yeah.
And I found picked up Jason Momoa's new vodka.
Is that
Now, it's been
Aquaman?
yes, it
Oh,
is.
okay.
And it's called Meili. Meili, okay?
Okay.
And I don't know if you can see it, but it's a beautiful bottle. I love it.
Oh,
It's a beautiful bottle,
yeah, yeah.
and so he's the co-founder with him and his buddy, and this vodka is beautiful. First of all, it's so pure. It's just clean. It's like water. I don't know if you can
Oh, yeah,
see
yeah.
it. You see that?
Yeah.
So it's very, very clean. Um, it smells really good. And I love my vodka. Now,
Right.
the only true vodka that I drink is Kettle One and Hanger One.
Right.
And that's just that's all. But I thought I would try this because again, I want to venture out, do different things.
Yeah.
And anything Jason Momoa does,
Right.
you know, daddy. So,
I'm on board.
but yeah, okay. So yeah, it's called Meili, and again, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
And let's go ahead.
For those that can't see, she just took a
Oh.
sip.
Mm.
That good,
This
huh?
is nice.
This is nice.
This is nice. Is this all you?
No cockroaches or nothing.
Okay. No, this is nice. Okay. This is smooth. It's crisp, clean. I like it. Okay, Jason Momoa.
If someone knows
Yeah.
Jason Momoa, we would love a sponsorship from this vodka.
Hmm. Yes. No, that's good. Very nice. Doesn't burn. That's good.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
look for it at my local fine liquor establishment.
Okay. Yeah. If you can't find it, let me know. I'll send you some. But that's good. So
Okay.
yeah, seeing like vodka is my thing. I'll look for another vodka for our next session. But this is really good, so I might have to continue with this for a while.
Might have to keep advertising that vodka.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is really nice. I like the bottle and everything. So
Perfect. All right.
right.
Well, thank you everyone for listening. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you'll have a safe Halloween. Once again, if you celebrate Halloween, once again, please like, subscribe, dislike, comment, share, tell your neighbor about it while they're harassing you while you're walking to the pool. Any kind of getting the word out there would be great.
Okay. Hey Janet, take a look and listen to Franklin and Douglas. I gotta go. Bye.
I like that.
Okay. Oh, wow. Yes. Thank you again for joining us. And we will have another exciting episode next week. And yeah, you take care.
Bye.